On today's video, we'll look into a scenario in which the world restarts. And how will we start this scenario? Well, we'll have, very crazy overreaction by one nation. And that one nation, we're going to say, is Russia gets fully kicked out of Ukraine. And they go, but they still keep Crimea at this point. But they go completely off the charts. Which leads to one of the greatest, worst problems Earth has ever seen. The biggest problem ever. With a tactical weapon getting fired off. And that's how it begins. A restart of humanity hits Kiev, Odessa, Lviv, Kharkiv, Cherniv, and Mariupol. And the Western world overreacts over this. With the full might of NATO, edit undo. But anyways, and so with the NATO taking this too far and joining the war to go against Russia. They don't do this the good way. War doesn't have any front lines because nobody's fighting anyone. At all yet. Because they're too busy doing something else. With the Americans launching their own weapon straight to Moscow, Moscow strikes Washington, which leads to the strike of St. Petersburg, New York. And then this leads to somehow one rains on Pakistan, one rains on India, a bunch land. North Korea just goes crazy. Australia gets hit around the coast because, Pakistan gets it worse. With it being launched by the east to like every major city. I'm missing all the major cities, I know that. But I can't really get them because I'm going so fast. And as we can see, with all the world powers just basically revenge bombing as they run out of the small ones. Oof. And it turning out China had nuked the US in this series so far. North Korea gets nuked. Basically, the big ones start firing everywhere. And then they get bigger. And eventually all the human populace destroyed. What will come next? Well, they're getting so bad the radiation goes around. And basically, there's no more humans. And as you can tell, that was a bit far. Let's say the world ended with everybody being destroyed. Now what happens to the world is a big question. After being nuked to death with nuclear Armageddon, well, all the countries instantaneously collapse. What's left of the world but new? Will new nations rise? Will the world be left like this? What will happen? Will a new life form rise? And as we know, none of these questions are known. And the prospect of a new civilization happening in thousands of years being the most likely, honestly. A new intelligent life form will wander Earth. Most likely is going to be what happens next. Rises. Well, it'll probably be in a few locations. Most likely a more deserty area, but not fully deserty. Like around a river. Somewhere where civilization would thrive. Like obviously, probably not in the outback, because that would be erratic, but it could happen, I guess. But if civilization was to rise, my guesses would be around the Nile. This area might have civilization. Over here it might next rise. Over here. Basically almost everywhere around India. It could rise in China easily. Japan, not really because it's too mountainous. Those are most likely. It could rise over here, but it's unlikely because there's not much to it. And that's what will happen. This series basically means a new civilization will form in this series, guys. And so, that's what the series are. It's the end of the world. Was the first episode. Thanks for watching, guys. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out. Bye, guys.